Okay, in comes the signal. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, brothers and sisters, I'm just going to wait for this audience to build up. I am letting you know that we have made the decision to change the time on Mondays to be 7 o'clock, or we're going to aim to be doing it at 7 o'clock, because the reason is that many of you that are watching this are in fact in New Zealand. And because of the time difference, if we start at 8 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. And it was all prompted today because our guest that we're going to be interviewing tonight is actually in New Zealand. Well, what time is it there right now?
It's 9:15, 9:13, so 2 minutes to 9:15.
All righty. Team, we're in for a treat. Aman Gulia is from Harcourts, New Zealand. And we always hear about stories about people doubling their income or tripling their income. This guy here is a Real Estate Gym Plus member. And when we were having the coaching session on Friday, I just immediately felt you guys and girls needed to hear the story. You needed to hear how a man right now is number 11 for Harcourts. Can I confirm number 11 internationally?
In the world, yeah.
In the world, number 11, right? An extraordinary award. And, for the 12 months, what did you write, Aman?
3.5. It's over 3.5 million in GCI.
Over 3.5 in GCI. So tell us a little bit about your background in real estate. How long have you been in real estate? You've come and gone. You've come back a second time. Just give us a bit of the background, and welcome everyone who's joining in.
Hello, guys. Yeah. So Tom, I came to New Zealand when I was 18 years of age. I came to study mechanical engineering, right? So let's fast forward it to when I bought my first house. I bought a big house on a big piece of land which I wanted to subdivide, basically. So I thought a good way to learn about subdivision and stuff would be to get into a real estate course. I did the course, only to find out that I didn't learn anything about subdivision in the course. It was more about selling and sale and purchase agreements. I thought I would give it a go. So I started selling. I struggled because I didn't have an advantage of a big network because I was an immigrant. So I tried and I gave up, basically, because it wasn't working for me. So I went and did other.
How long did you last in real estate the first time?
6 months. And it was a struggle. The 6 months weren't an easy ride. It was really, really hard. And I thought, look, if this is not working, I need to do something to earn an income, basically. So I still had my license. I kept renewing my license. And only that one day I received a call from a franchise owner. His name was David Findlay. I still work for him. And he's an amazing support system behind me. So I received a call. We met up. He saw something in me. He thought I had the work ethic and discipline, and he had the knowledge and experience. So we sat down. We basically talked about development and the hype around development, which was about to start in Auckland because of the unitary plan. And we made a plan. I jokingly said to him that I want to be number 1 in New Zealand. And he seriously said to me, I dare you to be. I remember those words. And we actually made a plan around it. And just to summarize, I got my first listing after this chat in September 2020.
What year?
September 2020.
Yeah.
Right. I sold that listing for $6 million in October. So the next month. From October to 31st of March 2021, I did $300,000 in GCI. Before that, those 6 months I worked in real estate, I was around about 40, 50K, right? So 300K in GCI was 1st of October to 31st of March 2021. From there, I was selling really, really well. I sold $31 million in the month of June, right? So that's September September to 30th of March, 31st of March, I did 300K. Then the business started to pick up. June, I did $31 million in sale, which made me number one for the month of June in New Zealand for Harcourts, number one, right? Because of getting that status and doing so well, I I got a chance to meet Joe Steele, who is now my business partner. He used to own a Harcourts franchise, and we met up and we thought we could be business partner, and he could help my business grow because he's done it before. So he came and joined me. We became business partner. We did it again in the month of August. We got number one again in New Zealand, and during this period, we got one of the best operations manager, Greer. So it was a team of Joe as business partner, Greer, who was a PA, now operations manager, and myself. So we constantly did really good months. And so long story short, from 1st of April 2021 to 31st of March 2022, 3.5 million in GCI, number 11 in the world, number 8 in New Zealand, number 6 in the region, number 1 in office and the franchises.
Okay, and you're originally from what country were you born?
India.
When did you come to New Zealand?
When I was 18.
18. So about what, 12 years ago?
11, yeah.
10 years ago. Okay, so this is an extraordinary effort. So everyone listening here, let's just re-summarize. We're talking about a guy who has a crack at real estate for 6 months, doesn't work out, leaves, goes and picks up some permanent income elsewhere, comes back into real estate just the way fate is, and within 2 years has written 3.5 with his business partner, $3.5 million.
Well, yeah, that's right. So Joe has definitely helped me write that 3.5 million in GCI. But I did. It's hard to say what my GCI was without Joe. But I did get number one in New Zealand before Joe joined me.
Right. Okay, we're not going to take any credit away from you. That's an extraordinary effort. 3.5 with a business partner or without is an extraordinary effort. That's a credit to you. But what's interesting is your model. You are a very much a social media agent. Like social media is a big part. In fact, you've indicated to me you haven't done a lot of cold calling. Am I right?
Oh, I personally haven't cold called. So how the business started to get traction is let's start with how I started, right? So
Yes.
when we sat down and made a plan, we gave development was a big word at that moment, right? So everyone was talking about development because of the unitary plan. So what, in short, unitary plan is the intensification of land in Auckland. So instead of having 600 square meter sections to build a house, now you can build you can build 5 houses in 600 square meter pretty much, right? So now you go with building coverage rather than going with the section size. So what really happened was we knew that the demand's going to increase because everyone's talking about it. So demand's going to increase, so we have to supply. So what we did was we went and found those pieces of land. So any mom and dad sitting on a 600 800 square meter section that can be developed was perfect. So how I started was I had a cold caller in Philippines calling for me 40 hours a week, right?
40
So
hours a week.
40 hours a week, constantly calling for me. I was paying round about $3.5, $4 an hour for them.
And
And
can I ask, and the goal was to get appointments, was it?
that's it. Get me in front of people. That's it. So I gave them a list of I just bought a really normal database that you get from the New Zealand company, and it had 09 numbers, not mobile numbers. So their job was to just call those numbers. I've provided them with a Skype account which had a 09 number, which looked like you're calling in Auckland, basically from an 09 number, right? So he would call everyone. As soon as the calls answered, there was a software which will record the conversation. So most of the conversation will just go in recycle bin. Anytime he would get any sort of interest, he would send that recording to me on Facebook straight away. I would listen to that recording. I would know what he has spoken to them about, right? From
Was
there,
this
I will go
sent to you on Facebook Messenger?
Facebook Messenger straight away. As soon as he's spoken, he'll send me the recording. I will listen to the recording. Depending on what was said, I would call the person and I will get in front of them. I would normally go 30 to 45 minutes before the appointment, and I will door knock either side of the house just to see if they would like an appraisal as well. So the whole aim was for him to cold call and book appointments, and me to door knock and get those appointments into listings. So September 2020 was first when I first got the listing. I got this house which had a big piece of land but had a really narrow driveway. Because of the driveway width, you cannot subdivide that property. Because the house was on such a big land and the house was old, I couldn't get them the price they were after. So what I did was, as normally I would door knock every house, I door knock the house in front of it. When I door knocked the house, they wanted to sell as well. We combined the sale of two. All of a sudden, it became a development site with the road frontage from the first house and the big land from the back house. There were services. I got them 6 million. The second I got them that price, it got media attention because of the price in that suburb, right? I did this multiple times. I've sold 3 houses where two of the vendors actually took the house with them. Again, got media attention. I was called by a homeowner who wanted to sell. I door knocked the houses next to it, and I sold 8 houses together as a package. Now those houses just by themselves is 900,000, 950, because it was sold as a development site with a per square meter rate of the land. I got them to $350,000 more. As soon as we got there, that got media attention. So a lot of my sales were unconventional and big sales where vendors were really happy, and the buyers were and the developers were really happy as well because of the because of the development land they got. I sold those 8 houses for $10 million, and the developer is building 54 houses there now. So this success and momentum was built, and it just kept on growing and growing and growing and growing. And I think what I did differently is I was never thinking small. I was doing these deals, and I was going for bigger and bigger and bigger deals. Just to give you an example of a thinking big, I I never spent money on billboards. Billboards were really, really expensive. Some of them were $7,000-8,000 a month. I thought there was a lot of money. The first time I ever did billboard, we signed a deal of $150,000, and that 150,000 covered 4 months of billboards in different sites. So I knew if I'm gonna spend big, I'm gonna get big. So it's just I just kept on going and going.
What was the marketing on the billboard that you took out?
Well, so first of when I got the #1 in June, that's what I put on the billboard. A really good story about that.
Personal branding of you.
Yes, that most of the things I've done in my social media and media is brand awareness. That's it, brand awareness, and I'll talk about the social media strategy more. But just to give you an example of thinking big and being optimistic. So I wasn't aware that I will be getting #1 in the month of June in New Zealand. I designed my creative around #1 in New Zealand. I paid for the billboard, and it was ready to go, waiting for my award to come. We were really nervous, right? So we were not sure we were going to get #1, but everything was paid for and the creative was designed. We got #1, and the and the billboard went next day.
Okay, so basically, what do they say? Visualize it in your mind, see it before it happens, and
Always
you'll
I'll
manifest it.
I'll come to my office every Monday morning. On Monday morning, I'll write down the sales, which my board is right here. So I'll write down the sales that I really want to make it happen. I'll write down the price that I'm selling them for, and I'll write down an unconditional date on it as well. And every time I walk in, I look at those dates, and it just happened to be most of my deals just happened like that. So I think I'm very optimistic with this kind of stuff,
So,
and I
team,
believe in law of attraction as well.
to summarize so far, what we're talking about is gone off into a unique market, and that is to creating development sites by getting strong knowledge in the marketplace about changes that were made to laws. And then what he did was become creative, contacted them doing cold canvassing. And then after getting an appointment, and I know a few people have asked, oh, is it legal to record a phone call on Skype? Listen, I'm not quite sure whether it's legal or not. I'm not going to comment on that, but I'm going to tell you, regardless, there is a lot of people doing phone canvassing, and whether you send people a recording or you don't send them a recording, the point is they're creating a lead. You are using the recording as giving you information, but they could easily just email you notes and say this and this. Then what you've done is you've gone and not only gone to that appointment, you've door knocked.
Yeah.
Is that right? You've gone and door knocked other houses, and you've basically said, let's consolidate your property with the next door property, and we can have a highest and best use of your property. We can prove
and sometimes it might not work, and we won't push for it. It's only when, let's say, you might, again, an example could be there's a big land and there's no services on it, but there's a house next to it which has got stormwater and wastewater. So I think it's just using their knowledge. The one thing which was different was I was a proactive agent rather than a reactive agent, right? So a lot of the times, basically, you get the listing and you just wait for TradeMe or realestate.co to basically people to call you, right? I actually knew every single developer in my area who's looking to develop or would be developing next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months. Anyone who is developing right now, I will go to them. I'll say, hey, look, I'm not trying to get your listing, but what I'm trying to get to you is basically I'll send you a list of properties that I've got. Look at it. What would you be doing after you finish this project? You would be looking for something, right? I want you to call me when you're looking for sites. So I already knew I had list of developers who were wanting sites, and I was going and finding those sites basically. And because there was the supply wasn't there and the demand was high, I was getting amazing results for my vendors. Those results was picked up by media, and I basically and my social media as well. I put everything on my social media, which created brand awareness, which I actually created a name for development side.
So Aman, I want to ask you, so you've sort of become a little bit famous by, firstly, the media picking up and promoting you. Then I've seen your social media. It's quite fascinating, everyone. If you jump onto his Facebook, you'll realize he does get a lot of strong engagement, right? I mean, you have got articles there that have received, I mean, how much is the highest rated views you've had?
I've had 300,000, 400,000 impressions. I have had over 600 comments, and those comments aren't thumbs up or love heart or you're doing amazing. It's normally long comments, 3, 4, 5 lines. 60, 70, 80, I don't know, 80% of those will be negative. People hating on me or people hating on Auckland market or the prices going up and this and that.
How do you cope with that? Because you know, when you're very out there on social media, you're getting a lot of positive and negative comments.
Mostly negative. Mostly negative. Yeah, mostly. I would easily say 80% of those are negative comments, and I'll be lucky.
It's people talking the market down, isn't it?
And blaming real estate agents, companies, myself personally for the prices going up and them not being they can't afford to buy in Auckland because of what we have done. Whereas it's not our fault. In regards to coping with it, I personally think it's an awesome thing and I've always said that to anyone that I've spoken to. It's a really good thing that anyone who is writing a positive or negative comment, regardless, and the second they write a comment on it, all their friends sees my post, right? So I really I actually like it. Anyone who comments on it, thank you. I just thank them, because regardless of what it says, the second they're liking or commenting or angry face or could be anything, all their friends sees that post because they've commented on it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm very proud of you, because there are a lot of people in your situation that the minute they get some negative criticism on social media, they stop being active. And in fact, what actually happens is other people then impact your own behavior. What you're saying is, hey, I'm reading this comment here from Hannah, and this is a good comment. The negative comments create conversation, which drives engagement. Win
Yep.
win. Yeah. Listen, Michael's a great mortgage broker in New Zealand, an adorable guy, very nice guy. What's your Facebook page that people
So
can?
it's Aman Gulia, real estate salesperson.
Okay, so it's Aman Gulia, real estate salesperson. And
Yeah.
Michael did ask earlier on, because he's in New Zealand, how are you finding the market right now? Because we are in changing times. You must have, obviously, you've seen it.
Yeah, so for us, it's market is a market, right? So two years ago, development was everything for us, and we saw the opportunity. Now we see that opportunity in residential houses. We see that opportunity in first home buyers. We see that opportunity in anything that we can find. To be really honest, so I was talking to Tom on Friday. Friday it was, and Tom was like, what's your average sale price? And I said, the average sale price changes with the market. It changes every month. It depends what we are selling. So last year, the development sales were 10 million, 6 million, 4 million, 3 million. And now we're selling houses. We just sold a house for 565,000. We're selling multiple first home houses for 800, 900,000. So I think the opportunity, the market, that just changes. And the fun is basically adapting to it.
Now, let me ask you. I'm just really fascinated, and it's encouraging, because there are people that have a go at real estate. It doesn't work, but you've shown, hey, sometimes you've got to fight a battle twice to win it. So you've come back a second time. Let me ask you, what are the sort of qualities you think, Aman, someone needs to be successful in our business? What do you think they are? What are the non-negotiable behaviors, qualities?
I think hard work is, and anything you do in your life, if you want to be successful, hard work is the number one thing. Like there's some things that you just cannot miss, like hard work, right?
Do you work hard? Like what sort of hours do you seem to work?
Well, I'm the first one to come in the office and I'm the last one to leave, right? I don't normally count my hours, because I just, for me, as in real estate, I just don't know when I'm working and when I'm not. I'm working
Yeah.
24/7 or I'm not, because I personally enjoy it so much. I wake up to actually work. I don't know if it's work, to be honest, because I enjoy it so much, right? I am really, really excited, and I'm not just saying it. I'm really, really excited to wake up every morning, to go and just look at my board and write stuff on it and make things happen. I if it's You have to immerse yourself in real estate if you want to be successful in real estate. It's just not easy, but I think
So
it's
hard work's hard work, you're saying, is one of the critical factors. Is there anything else?
well, hard work. Then you have to go, you have to be knowledgeable, right? The reason why I was successful is because i i i I had the knowledge. I can talk to a developer like a developer. I could talk to the vendor like a vendor. It's I knew everything about my market, right? That's why I could have those educated conversation, right? So the first thing is hard work. The second thing is knowledge. Third thing is you have to have the right support, right? So for me personally, I had David Finlay, who is the owner of JK Realty. He had the experience, he had the knowledge. I gained that knowledge from him. He taught me stuff. I had the attitude. Okay, so knowledge, support, hard work, and I think the most important thing, Tom, because you cannot do anything unless you have the right attitude. Attitude is the number one thing. It comes before knowledge, it comes before hard work. If you don't have the right attitude, you're just not gonna succeed. On top of
Yeah.
it, I value a lot of things. I value thinking positively, being optimistic. You have to do smart work rather than hard work. I could spend 40 hours cold calling, but I choose to pay someone $4 an hour to do cold calling. Um, and I
But
think these,
when they're doing your cold calling overseas, they've obviously got an overseas accent, I would presume, but they
yeah.
still get the result. But they still get results.
Yes, because those people, they're really, really polite, and they take rejection well. That's one thing I learned from them as well. Because yeah, you would listen to some of the calls, and they they just keep on calling. And I think I learned that from them. That rejection, you just have to get over it and just
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
on going. And be
yeah.
successful, because you're doing it for yourself, not anyone else.
I think I think you should love rejection, everyone. And the reason you should love rejection is that rejection are actually absolute clues that you're heading in the right direction. And rejection is, in fact, data that you're getting back from people. And rejection, of course, is not the opposite of success, but it's part of success. It is actually impossible to succeed without rejection. So if you are not being rejected, you're not going to be successful. And the reason you won't be successful is that you're obviously not reaching out to as many people as what you should be. Because when you reach out to people, you will get rejected, whether it's a canvasser in the Philippines or whether it's you yourself reaching out to your local market. Rejection is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. So if you want to succeed, get rejected faster is probably the thing I should say. Now, listen, the final things I just want to finish off with talking to you is if there's guys and girls watching this right now that are, let's call it, it's not working for them. They're exactly like you in the first part of your career. They're like you in the first 6 months. What's the advice that you give them?
Look, first of all, reach out to someone who is doing it. Number one thing, Tom. What I learned. So when Joe joined me in June, he was a really big advocate. He advocated. He basically introduced you to me, and I went through all the training materials, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And this, I watch every single video you post because it's amazing content. I wish I would have started this way earlier when I left real estate. If I had someone like you doing these videos, I would have been successful way earlier. I would have not spent this much time.
How they're watching your videos. They're watching your video is going to
Oh
be in
yeah,
the real.
yeah, definitely.
Now
So
you've gone from the student to the teacher.
yeah. So look, I think you have to reach out to the right people who are doing it, right? So if you shouldn't be shy at all. If any of you guys watching, if you have any questions or in regards to how I did it, and if you need help, I'm more than happy to just give answers. I personally never compete with the people that I'm working with, or like I've never even. I'll just help you. Anything that you need, message me. Anything
I
that I
want to actually write. I do want to get your. Let me get this right. I want Aman. Spell your surname. Gul.
GULI. Yeah.
Get rid of that there. I actually want to put your name on the screen there, and the reason why is that we do
It's
need.
the easiest thing is just Aman Gulia Real Estate on Facebook. So facebook.com/Aman Gulia Real Estate.
Yeah, and if that's all too hard, go to Google. Google the guy's name. It's up on the screen. You can see it there, and you'll find how you can get a hold of him. Keep up the good work. Your long-term plans in real estate. You want to be up there. You want to be in the top 2 or 3, number 1, 2, or 3.
Number one is the goal, and just keep enjoying the process. It's look, I am chasing the number one, but I'm still enjoying every single day, which is
Yeah,
the biggest.
yeah. And listen, I know Diego. Diego's a real estate gym member, and he watches everything, and I do coaching with him. So you put it out there, Diego's number 1 at the moment, isn't he?
Diego is number two.
Number two.
in New
Number
Zealand.
two.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, gang. Hey, thank you so much. Listen, I appreciate it. It's quite late for your time. I am putting this up here. This is what you've got to Google. Aman Gulia, real estate salesperson. Susan's even been kind enough to actually put up his direct URL, right? And we're getting some great comments from people. What a lovely, oh, let me go back to that there because I want to make sure you've got enough time to get a hold of it. It'll give you a taste of his video content that he uses, right? And he uses both organic and does paid reach advertising. We've had some very good feedback. On that note, my friend, I'm going to wish you a good night. I want to thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciate it. Signing off, everyone. Have a great evening.